Joe, it wasn't the 3 points that you were craving, but at the end of the day, you're a point nearer to where you need to be.
Yeah, the objective at the start of the day was to make sure that by 5 o'clock today that it was in our hands, and it is, and that's great. But we wanted to do it ourselves, if you know what I mean. It is a point game. Look, Scarborough are a good side. They're not on the beach yet. They've turned up. You know, people have said they've got nothing to play for. They didn't play like that. They've come and had a right go at us. Credit to them for that. They've got some good players and a good manager, and we've had to be at it to stay with them at times. But I think the thing that frustrates us is that we didn't impose our game on them second half. First half, we had some great chances and had a really, really good spell where we probably should have gone 1-2 up. But then second half, it became a basketball game, which isn't what we're about. So that element is a little bit disappointing, but it's in our hands. But we've got to go and make sure we go and do it.
And it's strange how things pan out, because that point may be valuable in the end. Scarborough probably could have nicked it with a couple of chances at the end. So the point at the end of the day is one to be taken and move on to Tuesday, I guess.
Well, we're in game 44, obviously 45 on Tuesday, and we're in a position where we can still get into the playoffs to try and get where we want to get to. And that's an outstanding effort from this group of players. It was a standing start in the summer in terms of moving to hybrid and then almost a brand new team, bar three. So for us to put this together, to be in this position, the players deserve a lot of credit. And, you know, we're only going to be better for it, whatever happens. But we know what we want to do, we know where we want to get to, and, you know, we've not given up on it by any stretch of the imagination. You know, it's in our hands, we want to go and do it. But it's got to be us. We can't keep relying. Today we've done enough to stay in it, but a lot of that was down to other teams doing us a favour, which we don't want to do. We want to do it ourselves. So all eyes are on Banbury to go and do that.
And nobody wants a dead rubber in football. You're certainly not going to have any of those, whatever happens Tuesday. Obviously, we hope you win, but even if you don't, it'll still go to the last day. You'll still be fighting all the way till the very end.
Yeah, but we want it in our hands. You know, the boys have done exceptionally well, and they deserve so much credit for them and us being in this position this late into the season. Would have took that at the start, I'm sure. But we've got to stand up in a big way now, and that's all of us, staff, players. We've got to stick together, supporters, because we're there with a right shout. And, you know, if the lads get to their levels in these last two games, we've got every chance of being there come the end of game 46. So that's the target, and that's what we've got to aim for.
Banbury on Tuesday will no doubt carry a lot of expectation, but that game in hand could now be absolutely crucial, couldn't it? The only game that takes place in the league in midweek.
Yeah, for sure. But if you're going to be in these positions at the top end and looking upwards, you're going to play with pressure. That's the way. They are going to be pressure games, and, you know, they're games to enjoy. They're games to revel in. Like the gaffer said to the boys, it's a great opportunity. We've said it from probably the middle of the season. We've got an opportunity in front of us, and we sensed and we believed that we had a squad that were good enough to put a run together to get in the mix. We've done that, but now we're there. We don't want to be the nearly men. We want to go and do it. And once we get in there, which we believe we will, we believe we can be a match for anybody. We've proven that against some of the sides already in there, but you've got to earn the right to do it. And up to game 44, we're up and in amongst it. And if we can win on Tuesday, then we're in a brilliant place going into a really, really tough game at Hereford. But it's just about the one in front of us, and the boys will do their best, I'm sure. And hopefully with a decent following, we can go and pick it up.
Jacob Hazel got an hour. Probably had your two best chances. Certainly the one that Whitley saved first half. How do you feel he fared?
Yeah, well, he needs it, doesn't he? You know, it's just building the minutes up again at this stage of the season is difficult, because obviously the position we're in, and obviously he wants to be around it as much as possible, and it's just making sure we look after him as well and don't overdo it. But then Zach Mills as well, he's been out for a little while, and to get 60 into him was great. I thought he was excellent, but that's the one thing I will say for today. Although there's a tinge of disappointment from us as a staff and players in terms of not winning the game, certain individuals really stood up in a big way. I think you go for our senior boys, Millsy, Bozzy, Richo, Woodsy, they were exceptional for us. And then it's just about all of us as a collective continuing to play our way. I think second half we didn't do that. I think we got drawn into a bit of a basketball game and second balls, and that's not us. So, you know, we need to get back to what we do. And if we do that in the last two games, we ain't going to be far away, I'm sure.
I know you're very big on the team and the collective, but three players, J Rowe, Jordan Richards, Dylan Hill, all picked up awards. A word on those three?
Yeah, I mean, what I'm pleased with, I think, obviously there was a player that took a clean sweep last year. You look at this, we couldn't predict it. You know, I mean, we spoke about it a couple of times in the staff room, and we didn't know who was going to get it. And I think that's testament to how well the group has done and how well those individuals have done. And I mean, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 names that you could chuck in there that probably were worth a mention. I'm sure you guys have done that as well. So no, credit up to all of them. Pleased for them. But then, like I say, it's a collective that gets you places. It's a collective that gets you into playoffs. So hopefully that collective does that for us over the next week.
You finished with the highest record attendance since the Football League days, 18 years ago, 19 nearly. How much satisfaction do you take in that whatever happens now, you've entertained the public of Boston this year?
Another stat. Listen, like the fans have stuck with us in a big way. I think, you know, there's maybe when we first started and first came in here, there was a little bit of a culture change, if you like, in terms of the way we tried to play and try to do things. And I know that was met with maybe a little bit of frustration in certain places when the ball was getting played across the back. And all of a sudden now it's gone the other way a little bit, which is credit to them. And I think they're buying into what we want to do as a management staff and as the group of players we've been recruited. This is the group we bought here. We want to play a certain way. We're not going to change because we believe it's the right way to do things, because it, you know, gives you good control in football matches and gives you more chance of dominating the ball to go and score goals. But to do that, you need a crowd behind you. And I thought today, that last 10 minutes where we all of a sudden swung it a little bit the other way and had a couple of chances, was a lot to do with them getting behind the boys. They weren't quiet, they were noisy, and they tried to get behind them. So we appreciate that massively. From a personal perspective, I think the away followings all year long have been great as well. So no, it's good. It shows we're going in the right direction, doesn't it? So no, I thank them for that, and I thank them for sticking behind us all year. We just need them to do it a couple of times more, and hopefully we'll get another triple two.
It's actually 17 years now. I've got my maths head on. 2 to go. Everything to play for.
Yeah, but look, we all wanted to be here, didn't we? We wanted to be in those positions and have it to fight for, and let's revel in it. Let's enjoy it, and let's see where it takes us. We set the group a challenge and a target, and at the moment it's still there for them. It's still there for us, and it's all of us have got to play a part to get us over that line. And if we can, and when we get over there, that line that is, we've got every chance. We really have. You know, we're not going to go in there and make the numbers up, but we've got to earn the right to be in there. So we'll save all that talk for next Saturday at 5 o'clock. Let's get to Tuesday. Let's get to Banbury. That aren't going to give it to us. There's no doubt about that. I'm sure they'll take a lot of pride in stopping us doing it. So we've got to make sure we're right at it, get to our level. And if this group gets to their level, they can beat anybody. So roll on Tuesday.